veterinary nutritionist, one of the things I'm asked most often is my dog or my cat overweight? In the end, there are a lot of things you have to look at when you're looking at a dog or a cat to really determine if they're over or underweight. What I like to do is I like to feel the dog along the spine here and look for the little tiny processes that come up from the spine. If you can feel those, good chance your dog is in pretty decent body condition. Other places to look are at the points of the hips here to see if it's nice and fleshy or if there's actually some sort of fat deposit here. One of the best places to look at actually as an owner is actually the rib cage. If I go across Gracie's ribs, I can kind of plunk across each and every rib. And it really should feel kind of like 3 different spots in your hands to determine if your dog or cat's overweight.
When you feel along your knuckles, you can see here that there's quite an indentation and you don't feel much in terms of fat coverage. That tells you that your pet is a little bit underweight and you potentially need to start feeding them more food. Then you want to switch over to the surface of your hand here, and you can determine that you can feel the bones that are in there. You can't see them very easily, although there is a little hint of them. And there's a very slight coverage of skin and fat there, but not much. That's perfect and what you want to see on either your cat or your dog. The final thing you want to do is to flip your wrist over and look at the palm of your hand. When it's a little bit squishy here, if that's the way that your pet feels along the ribs, that tells you that they're carrying around a little bit too much fat mass and that you need to do something to help them get that off. Another area you need to look at your pet is the waistline. You want to make sure that when you're looking at the ribs, then coming back here, that they have a nice hourglass shape. Even when you're looking at your pet from above, you should be able to see how you have the ribs, which are going to be definitely a little bit wider, and then it comes back in here towards the waist. If you see a common area actually on dogs where they pack on the pounds is right over here over the hips. If you start to see that things are pooching out a little bit, that's an indication that your pet is probably overweight. Another area in both cats and dogs that they can pick up the pounds are over the hips here by the base of the tail. Another place to look out for. While we've got Lucy standing, another thing that we can look at here is the bottom of her belly. You want to make sure that your pet, whether we're talking about a cat or a dog, has coming in from the ribs a nice little upswing here to the belly. Sometimes, especially on cats, you'll see that they'll have some excess skin hanging down. If that's the case, what you can do is you can actually feel within that skin. If you feel anything that's really squishy, and definitely if you feel a lot of stuff that's kind of squishy, that also is another indication that that's probably excess fat that your pet is carrying around.